Hello and welcome to the Business of Meaning podcast. I'm your host, Eric Rozenberg. Over the years, I've had the privilege of helping businesses in the meetings and event industry grow and succeed. And I'm excited to share that experience with you. If you feel alone and overwhelmed, and if you're looking to take your business to the next level, improve your strategy and sales, and connect with like minded professionals, you are in the right place. I invite you to visit eventbusinessformula.com and join our community of event business owners dedicated to exponential growth. Now, let's dive into today's episode. Hi there. As we are nearing the end of the year, I thought I would speak today about the essential that you need to think about for next year. In other words, what are the five important things that you should be focusing on to prepare for next year and to be successful next year? It's not some kind of plan that you're just going to spend a few hours working on and then leaving on the shelf and forget about it. It's five very concrete aspects. First one being a little bit more visionary, I would say, but the other are extremely concrete as something that you can apply already today as soon as you finish listening to this podcast. So the first and most important thing for me that you need to have, and it's not only for next year, it's in general, thinking about why you start your business in the first place. The very first thing is your long-term vision. Why are you doing what you're doing? What do you want to achieve? What is the long-term plan? Some people like to look at 5 years. I actually love to start first looking at the next 10 years. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And obviously, we don't have time to go into the details right now, but there's a process to it. I recorded previous episode on that, and that's the first thing we do when we have the people that we're coaching, the event business owner that we're coaching, is to help them define the long-term vision. Why is it important? Because guess what? Nobody started their business and went straight into success in a straight line. It doesn't work like that. It's a roller coaster. You have moments where things are not going as fast as you want. You have moments where you have to face a crisis that you didn't expect, on which you have no control. You have a moment where you have a challenge with somebody in your team, or a challenge with one customer, or something is happening that is really frustrating, or it's a setback, or you even have a simple thing like I had a few weeks ago. It's somebody is hacking into your process. And in my case, somebody was hacking into my Calendly and was booking fake appointments. Whatever it is, having your long-term vision and having defined it in 2 or 3 pages is very helpful, because you're going to go back to it. You're going to think about it and really sit down and take a deep breath when you're faced with a challenge and thinking, okay, why am I doing this? Why did I start this business in the first place? That is why it's important to have your long-term vision. And there's 2, 3 pages that I personally look at every 6 months, see if I'm still in alignment. And also, as I said, when I'm faced with the challenge, so a few weeks ago, I go back to, okay, why am I doing this? So the first and very important thing to do is to have your long-term vision. And that is something that, again, it's not only for next year, but it's in general very important to have. Now, let's go into the second aspect, which I think is extremely important to be successful next year. And these are very clear, measurable objectives. Sales objective for sure, but also things that you want to implement, where you want to be in the business. Again, if you look at your long-term vision and you go back to what needs to happen next year, that's where you start defining clear objectives. And I know at the end of the year, we are at the beginning of a year, when you're looking at the next 12 months, we tend to be very optimistic, or sometimes we are underestimating what we're doing. And you know the say that people will underestimate what they can do in the long term, but they will overestimate what they can do in the short term. So setting objectives at the beginning of the year, it's really important. It's going to help you set your activities. It's going to help you focus your mind. It's going to help you basically decide where you're going to put your energy, on what you're going to put your energy. So defining those objectives and reviewing those objectives afterwards every quarter, extremely helpful, and that's how you are becoming successful in the long term. You have also learned how ambitious you could be with your objective for the year and how realistic it is. Don't forget that when you're setting the objective, you're also working with your team, whether you have full-time people or you have a team scattered all over the world, or with partial employees or 1099, whatever it is. Don't forget that the objective that you have set for your business is very important that you share them with the team. And they need to know where you want to go. They need to know what is their role in the whole picture. And so setting those clear objectives is also very important to help you focus when something new happen, when you have the shining object syndrome arriving. Then you're going back to the objective and look at, okay, is this something helping me where I want to be going in the next 12 months? So setting clear objective is extremely important. It's a critical success factor for you to be successful in the next 12 months. And when you've set those objectives, also thinking about the implementation. What does it mean in terms of resources? What does it mean for your team member? What does it mean for you? Where you're going to spend your time? And that brings me to the third element to be successful in the coming year, and that is your ideal week. What is the ideal week? It's basically it's a one sheet that you take, whether it's a Google sheet, an Excel sheet, whatever the tools you're using. You want to have a visual of your entire week. So you have Monday until Sunday, and you have from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., for instance, and you start blocking time for the things that are important to you. If you're telling me that family is important to you and you haven't blocked time in your ideal week for that, I will question the fact that family is really important for you. And why you want to do that? Because if it's not planned, chances are it's not going to happen. And it is for everything, obviously, in your life, not only the private part. So the private elements of your life, not only family, your friends, your health, the time you're spending to exercise, to meditate, whatever it is. You want to block this time in your ideal week. For instance, every morning I have blocked 90 minutes for my routine. I have blocked some hours in the week as well for the sports activities and for what I'm doing with the family. So that's when you start obviously filling in your ideal week, and then you go into your role. Your role as a business owner, obviously, part of your role is to represent the company. Part of your role is to do the sales. Part of your role to make sure that you're managing the team, or you have the right people in place, and that your right hand or your COO or your integrator, whatever you call it, is able to do their work so that you can focus on what you do best. So basically, you block this time in your ideal week. You look at the entire page, and one thing you don't want to do is to block all the time from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Because as we know, life happens. You never know, a volcano in Iceland might erupt and suddenly the entire sky and the airport are closed. True story. So you want to block time for the important things in your ideal week, but you also want to leave a lot of blank space for the unexpected, so that you can tackle that. And as I always said, in over 20 years of planning incentive trip, sales meeting, product launch in over 50 countries in the world, I've never had one project that was executed exactly the way it was planned. So block time for unexpected as well. So you have your ideal week. You have block time for the important things in your life and for your responsibilities in the company. And then you want to translate that in your calendar. And it's very simple. And that's one of my favorite questions when I'm speaking in front of business owners, is to ask them, how many of you have at least 1 hour block in your calendar every day to reach out to your prospect and client? And you would be surprised by the very little number of hands that go up when I ask that question. Having your ideal week, translating that in your calendar, that will help you in this particular case. And once again, if you are the business owner, I'm sure you have to spend time on the sales part, whether it's representation, presentation, closing, whatever it is. this need to be blocked in your calendar is not going to happen. So first, long-term vision. Second, clear objectives. Third, ideal week. Now let's dig into the last two elements. And the first one, obviously, again, as an event business owner, what do you need to do? You need to spend time in sales. And it's not going to happen if it's not blocked, but also you hopefully not going to be the only one in the sales process. You're going to have people helping you. You're going to have people maybe setting appointments for you. You're going to have people maybe doing closing, depending on your sales process. What you need to have in terms of sales, besides the objectives, obviously, is to have a playbook. What needs to get in the playbook? All the elements with the vision, the objectives, the pitch that you have, the objection that people usually having, the script that you're using, all those elements that are helpful not only for you but to making sure that people working with you are aligned with your vision, are aligned with the objective, and are basically playing their part. If you're alone, fine. You might remember those things, and even though I think it's good to have it on paper and have the process and have this playbook. But more so, if you're not alone, if you're growing, if you have a real business where other people are helping you and where you're delegating the things that you're not the best at or that you not necessarily enjoy doing, in order to do that, in order to delegate, you need to have this playbook. So if I come to work for you, for instance, I don't know how you present your company. I don't know what are the main objections of your client. I don't know the way you want me to represent you, which is why it's extremely important to have this playbook in place. And then you have the sales process. If you don't have a sales process in place, the different stage from the first contact to the closing and execution, I strongly encourage you to work on this right now in the following weeks and making sure that every step you know what needs to happen, who's responsible, and what are the element information that you need to share with your team for this process to be executed. And then another thing that's extremely important in terms of sales. I'm sure you have a CRM, but by the way, if you don't have a CRM, a customer relationship management, please take some time in the following weeks to search for one and to implement one. You might have 10 prospects that you remember the conversation. After that, forget about it. You don't know which conversation you had with whom. You don't know what they say. You don't know what you commit to. And that's why a CRM is extremely important. By the way, when you grow your team and you have a sales team and different people involved in the sales process, you really want to make sure that you have an effective CRM just to monitor what has been done. But also when you have to jump in, you can go back to the emails exchange, the commitment, what they did in the past. So extremely important to have a CRM. It doesn't have to be something extremely complex. And there's many tools out there. So use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gork, or Gemini, whatever you're using for AI, and ask them the question and be very precise with the type of job you're doing, the type of prospect you're trying to reach out, and the type of information you want to have. Then they will ask the AI to give you a short list of 3 CRM, and then spend some time in each of them, pick one and go for it. Don't make the same mistake as I did, which is paralysis by analysis in looking at different CRM for months, not working. So in terms of the sales, again, the process, the CRM in place, the indicator that you have, what you need to be focusing on every day. So that the leading indicator, as we call them, so that at the end of the year, you being successful. These are all the elements that are going to make you successful next year and that you need to think about in terms of sales. So first, long-term vision. Second, clear objective. Third, ideal week. 4, the sales aspect. Now, what is missing in all of this for this plan to be executed? The thing that is missing, the main thing that is always a challenge and where most nice plans don't get executed is because somewhere in the process, we are lacking accountability. Accountability is the most important tool for your success next year.
It doesn't have to be very complex at all. For instance, I do have an accountability buddy. Greg and I meet every Monday afternoon at a specific time. We talk about the three things that we commit to do the previous week and the three things that we're going to do the following week. And it's not enough to say it's done, you have to show it. Accountability can be with an accountability buddy, it can be with someone that you trust, it can be coach, it can be with a peer group, whatever it is, especially if you're a solopreneur or you have a small business owner, to put accountability in place is essential. And once again, it doesn't have to be in your own structure, but you want to have this accountability process in place. It's going to force you to get the results, it's going to force you to focus on what is important, it's going to force you to do the work every day, a little bit every day, so that at the end of the year, you will be successful. And having this accountability in place, that is one of the most important critical success factor that you can have. So for next year, my wish for you is obviously that you be very successful, but you have first a clear idea of your long-term vision. Second, that you define clear, objective, measurable objective, simple objective for the next 12 months. Third, that you have your ideal week. And by the way, it's not set in stone. I review that every quarter. So what is my ideal week based on the priorities and things that need to happen then? Fourth, obviously, the sales, where you want to put the system in place, when the process in place, when the block time, making sure that you're reaching out to prospect, making sure that you're reaching out to client, and making sure that obviously you are bringing the clients into the business. And fifth, and most importantly, the accountability part. There is no plan, there is no execution if there is no accountability. So I hope it's helpful. If I can help you in any way, let me know. Once again, we specialize in helping even business owners grow their business. And basically, we help you stopping going from one project to another and basically having a real business. So if there's anything that we can do to help you, reach out on LinkedIn. Good luck. Have a great year. And if you have any other suggestions, please reach out and let me know. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Business of Meeting podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable. If you enjoyed the show, the most important thing you can do is leave a review and share it with your colleagues. It really helps spread the word. I truly appreciate your support. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, don't forget to visit eventbusinessformula.com to learn more about how we are helping even business owners like you. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.